Hello. Definitely a little nervous here. Doing it with Hayden is a lot easier than sitting here and doing it by myself. Definitely feels weird. But Hayden asked if I felt up to it, if I would kind of share my side of the first week or so after he was diagnosed. And so I said, I will try. We'll see how it goes. Hayden is definitely gifted in the fact that he can just speak with no bullet points or nothing. I am not that gifted. I need stuff written down or I forget. So I apologize if it looks like I'm reading something. It's because I am. So it'll keep me on track and make sure I don't forget stuff that I wanted to include in this. So just kind of going over my perspective. I just know that ALS or anything terminal was not even on our radar. Like, not even on our radar at all. At least for me. I don't think it was for Hayden either, but I will speak for myself. And in my mind, I just thought we would find something like a deficiency where he could take medication, or anything really. Something that could be fixed and he could just kind of move on from that or make things better. I don't know. Anyways. So leaving the doctor's office knowing that he had something terminal, it didn't even make sense to me. I'm just looking at him, I was like, he looks so healthy. Like, he's got a muscle twitch, his hands are just a little weak. Like, I'm not understanding, why they're saying he's gonna die in, 2 to 5 years. It just was mind-baffling to me. The drive home was hard for the fact that I feel like neither of us knew what to say. We didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I know I was really definitely crying, but I was trying to hold back a lot. So it's like when you do that, your throat hurts really bad, like you're just holding it all in. So that was rough. It's about 35, 40-minute drive home, so it just felt like forever. And when we got home, Hayden's dad was already at our house. So right as Hayden got out of the truck, he just hugged his dad. And I just think it just released for him. And just watching him hug his dad and just cry was sad. It was hard to watch because it's just heartbreaking is what it was. But I like that his dad was there to kind of help him and just hold him there for a minute and just be with us. And then soon after that, the decision to tell our children about it was hard because I didn't want to lie to them or keep it from them because I've heard that that's not the best option. So I was like, I know they need to know something about it, but I, of course, did not want them to know everything. So I think Hayden kind of described how we had said it, that, daddy's sick and he's not going to get better. You might notice him getting a little weaker, but that's kind of all we alluded to or mentioned at the time. So that was definitely hard. You could tell the girls looked confused, kind of like, what? This doesn't make sense. So that was hard. And then later that night, just having all of our family on both sides come together within, a couple hours was just so cool. It was so cool to see everybody come together so that we could give Hayden a blessing, just to help us through this. And it was just really cool to see everyone there. So shortly, like one big thing for myself that I look back and remembered was I've never had a panic attack in my life, so I don't even know if this is what I had or an anxiety attack. I don't know. But I know that I was sweeping in the kitchen one day and then my heart started racing. It was racing so fast, it felt like it was beating out of my chest. And then I just was hyperventilating, which I just thought was so weird. I was just like, what is going on? Like, I'm not understanding this. So it's like I had to like sit on the floor and I'm literally trying to work through whatever's going on. And just like right in the middle of it, you hear sweet little 3-year-old Oakley. She's like, Mom, come wipe my butt. And you know what? Here I am, like in the deepest of my deeps, just of my feelings and all that. And then she just like keeps repeating, Mom, come wipe my butt. Which I look back and laugh now because it's very hard to grieve when you've got a little child around. But I kind of see it as a good thing too, because they can kind of help pull you out of it. And they're just a little happiness, a little light. So that was one of my things. And then another was Hayden had talked about kind of how, I guess I'll describe it as he spiraled a little bit with Callie saying that she felt like she had like a tornado in her chest, like she just didn't know how to describe the feeling she was feeling. So, and how he was going on a walk and I forced myself to go along because no way was I letting him go alone. So I kind of wrote down some things of what I remember him talking about. I just kind of felt like I had never in my life witnessed somebody like weep and like wail and cry the way that he did. Like, I've never experienced that before. And it was just the most heartbreaking thing I've ever experienced. Like, it was so sad seeing my best friend, my husband, just like at his lowest of lows. So that was really hard. We ended up going on a walk. He just needed to like get out of the house and calm down or just get fresh air or something. And he just kind of kept asking me like, what needs to be done? What needs to be done around the house? Like, what can I do? And I'm just like, nothing. Like, we have all that we need. We're good. And he just kept like pressing it. Like, what can I do around the house? So I just started like making up things of like, oh, you can like make this, or you can like do that. Like trying to keep him distracted or something. And then another thing was he was so worried about the girls and not having a good enough savings built up for them. So then that led into him like, what can I sell? Like, I'm going to sell all my guns and I'm going to sell my place or my Xbox. Like, he just kind of went into everything. Like, I'm going to sell all this stuff so that we can put that money into their savings. There was lots of apologies. Like, I'm just so sorry that I wasn't a good enough father and husband, and that I didn't spend more time with you guys, that he worked so much. It was sad. All I could do was really just listen. I was just there just to listen. I didn't really say much because I didn't feel like I needed to. I just felt like he needed to vent and just get it all out. So I just kind of was there for him and walked with him, held his hand, and tried to give what I felt was comforting words. I don't know. But that was definitely... Oh, another thing that was, I feel like, one of the most saddest things was he was so worried that our Oakley, our youngest, she's 3, and that she was not going to even remember who he was. So I remember having to comfort him and saying, you know, if this does go quickly, like, no way am I not going to let Oakley not grow up knowing who you are. Like, she's going to know. So that was very hard. Other hard things were like when I would tuck my girls into bed at night, it seemed to be the time where they felt like they needed to talk about things, and they would just talk about how nervous they are, how anxious they feel. I don't want daddy to go. Or they just felt like something bad was going to happen, like they just didn't feel right in their chest, you know? So I felt almost hopeless in that aspect as well, that I really didn't know what to tell them, you know, other than, you know, everything's gonna be okay tonight, you know, dad's still here, he's still doing well, like we're all good tonight. So that was sad. So shortly after as well, Hayden kind of focused, he kind of recovered from his hard day, and then I felt like he was just kind of like focused on let's get stuff done. And I just let him do whatever he wanted to do. Like, he wanted to plan his funeral. He wanted to get like who's speaking, what songs are going to be in that. So I spent time writing all that down for him. And then he would, like, one day he was just like, let's go pick out a plot. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So that was an interesting day. Maybe I'll go into that right now, just for a fun side story. We had went and picked out, or in our city that we live in, we had set up an appointment to go look at plots. And the guy was helping us, and he's like, these are ones available. And Hayden was kind of like not being, he was like hemming and hawing around like why we're picking out plots. And anyways, I had gotten to the point where it just felt awkward, and I'm like, he's got a terminal illness, and we've just kind of got to get things planned. So that's what we're trying to do. And the guy was like, oh, okay. And then he started kind of getting pushy, like, would you want to get a third plot? And I was kind of like, And he's like, well, you're going to get remarried, and you're going to want your new husband, like, buried by your old husband. And I'm kind of like, excuse me? Like, you really think that I am focusing on, like, remarrying? No. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I was just appalled that he was even, like, offering that. I just don't feel like that's the time when someone's grieving that their husband is going to be dying, and then to be bringing up, oh, you better buy an extra plot for that future husband of yours. And I don't know. We walked away from there and did not buy from there. I'll tell you that much. I did not like that. Anyways. But we also started working on, like, getting a will in place and, like, trust and stuff. And then I feel like I do most of the house stuff anyways, other than Hayden focuses on the bills. So he taught me how to pay the bills so that I can be practicing. So that's something I've kind of helped taken on. And just kind of small things like how to turn the sprinklers on or how to turn them off for the winter. There's lots of just like little things that I'm like, let me take a video of this so that I know how to do this when I need to do it on my own. So yeah. And then just to kind of end, I just kind of wanted to go over like how I'm doing overall. Like, for myself, I don't even know how to describe it really, but the only way that kind of makes sense to say out loud is like, I feel like a light or an innocence has been taken from me. Like, it's just like life isn't all sunshine anymore. Like, sorry, I say like too much. It's just like there was nothing ever bad in my life, and it's just like, oh, those things don't happen to me. Those things happen to other people. They don't happen to me. So then just to have something like this happen, it's just kind of like that innocence in a way is taken. And it's just like, I don't feel like I've got that little sparkle in my eye anymore. It kind of seems kind of like it's more of an effort to be happy, if that makes sense in a way. I find myself being sad a lot more. I kind of like inside, I just kind of feel more heavy. I feel like I zone out more. I'll just kind of notice that I'm just like, and people are like, mom, and I'm like, what? Like, whoops. But those are some of the things that I have noticed. But overall, I feel like I'm doing good most days. I do have my hard days where I'm just not feeling it. I just feel sad. Just kind of start feeling all the feels. Like Hayden kind of said, he turns to music, and I like to as well. So on those days, I just find I've got a playlist that I just have all my sad music on, and I will just listen to it all day. I like to kind of feel all my feels. And then I feel like that kind of helps me not keep everything in so much. So it's just like I have one bad day, feel all my feels, and then I am ready to go for the next few weeks or so, or however long. But I feel like, oh yeah, and then I definitely notice that I don't do well a day or so leading up to his ALS appointments, and I don't do well on his appointment day. It's stressful. You're just hoping not to hear bad news, so I think that's why. But thank goodness we have not heard bad news up to this point, that he's progressing slowly, and it's just been great so far. As great as it can be. But thanks for listening, and I think that was all that kind of happened in my perspective of it. So thank you.